Hello, everybody, and welcome to the October 16th, 2018 edition of the Ephrom Josine Show. I am your host, Ephrom Josine. And ladies and gentlemen, I am kind of happy right now because we have finally got the mainstream media to address the many issues with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. No, it's not the fact they were responsible for 9/11 or the fact that they are kind of bombing Yemen and doing a blockade and giving people cholera in there, or the fact that they regularly fund Islamic terrorist groups such as ISIS and Al Qaeda, or the fact that they didn't let women drive until last year, or the fact that they kill gay people. Wait, okay, what caused the mainstream media to finally care about Saudi Arabia? Well, the answer is very simple. A journalist who had been known as a reformist in Saudi Arabia was killed. So wait a minute, though. Therefore, proving the Saudis don't have free speech? We already knew that, if you say, for instance, that you reject the Prophet Muhammad, or that you do not believe in Allah, the Muslim God, then you are killed. You are put to death, or at best case scenario, put in a jail. So really, this doesn't show us anything we didn't already know. However, do not get me wrong, this is still very tragic, as this journalist was a very good person. And the fact that the Saudi Arabian government tried to hide it by directly calling the people who killed him tourists, despite the fact they were only in the country for a few hours at night and one of them had a bone saw. As you do. But, okay, I just want to think about this for a second real quick, by the way. Just to review, actively killing people, both in and outside of your country, including people we in the United States consider, human beings, such as gays and women, that's fine. You kill a journalist who's a bit too mean to your country and then cover it up, that's the line? This, however, has not stopped, by the way, the millions of dollars Donald Trump is giving with Saudi Arabia. However, it does seem like some Republicans are actively fighting against that. As Senator Marco Rubio, for instance, who before now I just thought was a robot program by Donald Trump, said, quote, "There isn't enough money in the world to purchase back our credibility." This is from CNN. He is referring to our human rights track records, which I always thought were kind of lost when we did, torture of the innocent, which Marco Rubio supported. Or that time we invaded sovereign nations, which Marco Rubio supported. Or that time we did a lot of things that Marco Rubio and his party supported, now that I think about it. But here's what he said. Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio said the United States will lose its credibility on human rights. Joke's on him, we didn't have any. If it does not take action against Saudi Arabia after the apparent death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Now you see why I haven't been pronouncing his name so far, by the way. I'm not very good at it. Here's what he said. Quote, "We will lose our credibility and our moral standing to criticize Russian President Vladimir Putin for murdering people, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad for murdering people, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, I always pronounce his name wrong too, in Venezuela for murdering people. We can't say anything about that if we allow Saudi Arabia to do it, and we do as a diplomatic slap on the wrist. So, Marco, are you saying we should cut ties with Saudi Arabia? Boy, there was this man who was saying that about 2 years ago. Do you remember his name? I think his name was Bernie Sanders. And you called him a commie for that and said he hated America? Very intelligent man, that Marco Rubio fella is. And may I remind you, by the way, Marco Rubio is just saying this now while he was the one at the debate in 2016 who said, quote, "I thank God all the time George W. Bush was president during 9/11. In case you're wondering what George W. Bush's reaction to Saudi Arabia's attack on our nation was, it was sell them more weapons and run commercials claiming they're agents of peace just after they committed the biggest terrorist attack in U.S. history. Anyway, you know what? I could go on about Saudi human rights abuses for 5 evers, which if you do not know is one more than 4 evers. However, my laptop is informing me I'm running low on space, so we're just going to end this episode off with a quick little, mostly audio ad I saw thanks to Charlie Kirk's Twitter account from a PAC called Future 45, which I assume supports our president. We are going to listen to this together. I'm sure those violent leftists are all the ones running for Congress, too.
The smears.
Which is just part of politics. Seriously, that's just something you deal with if you want to be in politics, is that people are going to smear you. Barack Obama directly said that to the UN, for God's sake.
And death threats.
I do agree death threats are bad. I would like to see more people doing that as proof it's happening, but okay.
The far left moving to socialism.
I thought the far left already was socialism. Now we're moving towards socialism? This doesn't make much sense. I thought Obamacare was socialism. And before that, it was welfare was socialism. And before that, it was basic social safety nets or socialism. Socialism in these people's minds is basically just a little bit further left than where we are now. Also, Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are not socialists. Saying otherwise is just downright lie. Neither of them have advocated for workers owning the means of production or the abolishment of wage labor, which are both kind of the 2 main things that define socialism.
Undefended open borders, immediate tax increases.
As opposed to Donnie, who waits 10 years to increase your taxes, but does anyway.
100% government-run healthcare.
Sanders' plan included a private option.
The booming economy stopped.
There is no booming economy. Well, okay, there is, but it's going to be followed by a bust. Every economist knows that. Everyone who understands reality knows that.
Nancy Pelosi back in power.
After she's done something. I forget what, but she's done something.
Gridlock. And then...
As opposed to now, where they can just be as evil as they want to be.
Impeachment.
Oh, that's not going to happen. That's just a campaign slogan. For God's sake, these people take like every bumper sticker ad as if that is gospel for what a politician is going to do. These are people, I swear to God, who just learned what politics were yesterday. That describes the Republican Party, I swear.
Is that really what you want? Voting for any Democrat gets you all of that. Future 45 is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Anyway, that was a short little fun ad. So that's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.